Well, good afternoon. Can everyone hear me? If someone will acknowledge that.
You're coming in fine.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us for our afternoon and final session of agent training. And so we're excited you're here. We think we're going to have a lot of great information. And so without any further ado, we have a special guest on the phone, our CEO, Richard Miltenberger. He would like to say a few words, so I'll let Richard take it away.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I've been kind of going back and forth looking at who's on the phone call, and it's great to see some very familiar names and others of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting. As Jeff mentioned, my name is Richard Miltenberger, and I have the pleasure of serving as President CEO of the Montana Health Co-op. So I just wanted to very briefly kind of bring you up to speed on kind of some major developments, but I want to not steal everybody else's thunder, so I'll just be with you for a minute or two here. First off, that we're going into our 8th year. Next year, 21, be our 8th year of offering coverage on the marketplace. So a lot of folks were naysayers back in the day and didn't think this organization was destined to succeed, but we've been doing extremely well for a number of years now, serving now about 31,000 people over the 2-state territory of Montana and Idaho. We have largely been, as many of you know, known as an individual marketplace carrier, but the reality is we've always done group, and we're doing more and more of it thanks to Jeff and his incredible team. So I just wanted to state that for many of us here at the co-op, we have been on both sides of the fence. I've spent most of my career working on the agent side and a chunk of my career on the carrier side. And one thing I've learned is that it's you folks out there in the field who are the ones that are dealing with our customers. You're taking the brunt of everything. If there's a problem, you're going to experience it first. So we are big believers in agent distribution, contact, agent centrality. You're the folks that make things hum for our members. So thank you for all you do. We are having a terrific year this year as we did last year, the year before. We're now at a risk-based capital level, if you're familiar with that term, risk-based capital of over 500%. So very solid financial footing, expanding, as you'll hear, into Wyoming. One of the things that distinguishes us as an organization, we're designed to create competition, which is terrific, but we feel there's more than that. And our board, which is comprised of our members, is committed, as I am and the whole team is, in making a difference in the health of our members. And to that end, you're going to hear some really creative stuff going on. I would even say game-changing information regarding medications to keep folks out of the hospital, making sure they don't have a financial barrier to take care of themselves from their chronic illnesses. So whether it's diabetes, COPD, asthma, or a number of other conditions, we're going to be offering coverage next year, January 1 next year, that's going to pick up all of the chronic medications, or most of them are going to be picked up to keep people out of the hospital. So we're going to take away the deductibles, the cost share. It's not that new. It's just new to this marketplace. It's been done around the country by large employers. You see a real payback in that the emergency room visits will come down. And, you know, so you're actually saving money and saving people's lives potentially by doing this. So I don't want to go on and on. Wanted to thank you all for your business. Always feel free to reach out to Jeff or me. The last thing I'll say, it used to be that you kind of had one company that was the hometown team in this state. And there are other companies that would kind of come in and leave the market, that come in for a few years and disappear. But I would tell you that we are now the hometown team. We're not based in Oregon. We're not based in Chicago. Those are all friends of ours, good people, but we're based here. And if you need to get business done, come right here to Helena. Happy to visit kneecap to kneecap with you. So appreciate you're doing business with the hometown team. Thanks, Jeff. Take it away.
Thank you, Richard, for your words, and we're just so fortunate to have Richard leading us in these efforts, and just appreciate your words of wisdom and thoughts. Okay, so we're going to get started. So Cheryl, if you'll move us to the next slide. Yep, keep going. So this first one, in the event, when we get to the question and answer session, so to give you a lay of the land here, we're going to go through the formal presentation. Then we'll have a question and answer session at the end. We'll review the chat questions as well as any verbal questions you would like to ask. If you're going to ask verbal questions, if you would like to be seen on the screen, here's a tip as far as how to do that. And if you don't, then that's fine as well. So next slide. Okay, let's begin. So here at the co-op, Richard touched on a number of things, but really we're moving forward. Move the slide up a little bit. Our big thing is we've got you covered. We're in the communities. We're doing good things for our members, and we've entered a number of other markets. And so, typically the co-op was primarily in the individual market. Well, as we know, the Affordable Care Act changed. That's a changing landscape. And so we know that we want to continue in that market on and off the exchange, but we knew we needed to get involved in other areas. So you'll hear more about our employer plans and our successes in the group market, both large and small, and then our initiative with entering the Medicare supplement market. That's been a success story, and we only can continue to build weekly. So we've got you covered. We're moving forward, and we're excited that you're part of our team. So when we look at what we're doing, we believe that we're a small company, but we're governed and we're owned, and we work with members just like yourself. And so our board's made up of members and people that participate with us. And we don't have large shareholders. We are administratively sound in what we're doing, and we want to make sure that we're there for you. And so we put any of our profits back into member additional benefits for the members, and we really want to continue to do that. And so I guess that would be the game changer. We're a local team. We have folks in the communities. We're doing the right things for the members, and we're a viable option now, and we're going to talk more about why. Can you get it? You got it going. So let's talk about the sales team. When I joined the co-op about a year and a half ago, I came on initially as a consultant to help kick off the Medicare supplement initiative, and just do another analysis on group business and how we could get this moving with Richard and other leadership at the helm. And so the exciting thing is when I started, there was only 2 people in the sales team. We had 1 in Idaho and 1 in Montana. Well, if we're going to grow, we needed to have a good solid team in place to not only serve the clients, but also to serve you as our agent partners. So I'm Jeff Swingley. Most of you know me, Director of Sales for our state service areas. We also have Lori Hedberg. She's the account manager, primarily working with our large group business. And she is very knowledgeable in other segments, small group, our broker quoting portal. So she has other knowledge base, but primarily in the large group market. Many years at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana. In fact, probably half of our staff collectively at the co-op came from the Blues or other insurers at one time or another. We also have Cheryl Charbonneau. She's also been in the industry for many years. Some of you know her, and just a wealth of knowledge and experience. She is doing account management work, assisting Lori with some large group functions. She's our primary person for Medicare supplement. Also works with small group business, et cetera. And so you've undoubtedly worked with her or will. Carly Simak is our newest team member. She's our marketing service representative. Carly is just a delight, and you'll find her very helpful and willing to assist you in resolving issues that come up or servicing your members. She does a lot of the day-to-day agent inquiries, and so you'll undoubtedly be speaking to her. She helps with agent appointments, small group renewals, and things like that. Knut Clevin out of our Idaho office. So Eagle, Idaho in the Boise area. Knut is our sales executive there. Knut has years of industry experience, both at an agency level and other companies, and has a very good relationship with the agents in that state. And so if you do business in Idaho, which many of our agents cross states and do that, Knut will be there to assist you in those processes. And last but not least, Rich Wessenberg out of our newly formed Wyoming office. You're going to get to hear Rich say a quick hello a little later in the presentation. Rich, again, bunch of experience, comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming, knows the players in the state and the agent community. And as we kick off our Wyoming sales initiative, it's going to be exciting to see what Rich can do and collectively what we get done this year. So there's your sales team. We're going to continue to try to build this as we build our business. We'll talk more about that, and just excited to work with you. So we're very financially solid. Richard touched on a few points, but I guess we want to emphasize this from the standpoint of with all the change with the Affordable Care Act and the many co-ops that started out and those numbers have diminished, we are one that's been here and continue to stay. We're a success story. Some tough decisions were made years ago, but that was good because now we're able to move forward. So we have a solid board. We have Richard leading us in our forward movement and positive things occurring. So our risk-based capital level, we were required to be at 400. We're at 530% through August. Current net income in excess of $14 million. So we're very financially sound and viable. And it's because we're member-owned. Our profits invested back, good decisions. We would not be doing things like going into Wyoming. We would not be doing things like Medicare supplement if we weren't in a strong position, and we're going to continue forward. So we just appreciate you working with us, and just we're excited to move into this new year. So as a smaller company, as you know, you typically will have vendor partners that you work with and people and companies that partner to cover some of your service and your administration. And so we will continue to use University of Utah Health Plans as our administrator going into 2021 as we do today. So they continue to provide customer service, claims processing, generating of ID cards, so all those administrative functions, customer service calls to service your clients, to assist us. They are such a great partner because not only do they provide these administrative services, they also give us access to their great regional facilities. So they're a company that's multifaceted to where they actually have membership. They're an insurer, they're an administrator, and they're a regional health facility. And so we continue to do good things with them and more to come there. So let's look at some basic updates and then we'll get into it more as we go. We are now operating, doing business as Mountain Health Co-op in all states. So we have been incorporated, we've been incorporated from the beginning as Montana Health Cooperative, and we will continue to be. So our roots are formed here in Montana, and that's where it stays. As we've expanded to other states, we found it necessary and the best choice to be consistent in our naming, and so we will do business as Mountain Health Co-op in all of our state areas. As we talked about, and we'll discuss further, we entered the senior market recently to provide another option not only for our current membership, but other members that would like to be involved in the communities and the co-op, and so we've expanded with that. We've also diversified in the group business sector. We've done some great things with group, and it's a lot of gratitude to many of you on this call that we've had that success. And so we'll talk more about group, but this is an area we continue to significantly grow in. And then also providing additional coverage and benefits for our members. That's super important to us. So again, we keep our administrative costs low so we can do things like providing the additional benefits above and beyond the basic medical coverage that we're offering, and you'll hear more specifically about those items shortly. So let's look at our membership in the state. So this gives you a depiction of approximate membership in both service areas. And as we get going in Wyoming and next agent training, we'll be able to communicate some successes in the Wyoming market. We expect good things to happen there, but we continue to grow and look at opportunities where we can gain market share and have a bigger footprint and really be a viable option. And I think that's where we're moving, is we're becoming a viable option as just as some of the other carriers for members to consider and move towards. So when we look at our membership, there's some demographic information that's very interesting. So when we look here, approximately 92% of our business is in the individual business segment, and then 8% is group. What's interesting about that statistic is compared from now and back to the beginning of the year, we've grown about 6%. So at the beginning of the year, it was about 98% individual, 2% group. We've grown 6%. Through about 3/4 of the year. So while that might not seem a lot, it actually is pretty significant. With what we're doing in fourth quarter with our group sales, we will undoubtedly bump this up significantly as we move into January. So we expect a good pickup of membership fourth quarter with our rating. And then as we move into January, we expect good things there. So stay tuned on how we're really balancing and diversifying our book of business, and it's so important for us to do it. Average age of our membership is 40, and that's split pretty evenly between males and females. So that's also an interesting statistic. About 28% of our members are on a CSR. They're getting some cost share assistance, and then about just under 400 members take Native American plan in some form or the other. So it gives you some breakdown of how we exist. Okay, this next slide, this next slide, if you can move it up a little bit, Cheryl, it is a depiction of, and this does not include large group, but for both states, for our individual and small group, the amount of membership in each of our metallic level plans. So again, no large group here. So when we look at it, the membership and the percentage, below the number, the percentage of members without an agent. Why this is so significant is when we look at the products and the amount of membership in each of those, there's some telling things to say that a number of our members really could see the value of working with an agent. And so we're very agent-centric. We are not looking to write a bunch of business direct or take the agent out of the equation. It's just the opposite. We encourage members that call in that don't have an agent or would like one to pair them up with an agent. If they have an existing agent, go back to them, work through that agent. And so we want to make sure that we get more agent involvement. Because you look as an example, Montana, the significant amount of bronze level plans. Compared to some of it. Well, maybe a member went out on their own to the marketplace. They signed up for a bronze plan because it was the cheapest, least expensive. Had they met with an agent, they could have found out that indeed maybe a silver plan was only a few dollars more, and they get some additional benefit that they wouldn't otherwise. So those are important things. So you will continue to see us get leads, ensure groups are working with you, members, Medicare supplement. We want the agent involvement. We couldn't be doing this without you. So let's talk rates. This is typically the big thing every year, or as we get in small group rates for the quarter and where we're looking at bids. And so let's talk a little more about rates and see how we're positioned in our individual and small group markets. So this first slide is going to go through our Montana individual rates. And the interesting thing about the statistic is what it shows our products on an average. So this is just an average figure of where we're placed at in 2020 and where we'll be in 2021. As you know, there's 3 carriers that operate on the exchange. We're one of them. And so 3 primary players in the individual marketplace. And when we look at the rating, we look at a number of factors. So our actuarial firm goes through and checks things to see how we rate in each area, how the book of business is running. And so you can see the adjustments. And so we have some reduction in some product lines. Others have a slight increase. We had a very minimal overall. And so what this shows us is that we are going to definitely be positioned well throughout the state. Some rating areas could be better than others, but that's characteristic of how the other carriers are performing or where they come out in the rates. But overall, we feel very strong and good moving into the new year with our Montana individual rates. Small group. Take it up more. This is another success story, and so I really want to emphasize where we're at with small group. So one thing that I talked about when first coming on was, well, how are we performing our group business? Well, we weren't writing a lot of group business. Well, the first and foremost thing was, you know, how are our rates? Do we stack up against our competition? Well, it wasn't very well. And so some additional analysis was done and some partnership, and our strategic forward direction led by Richard allowed us to make some adjustments in rates. So last year, both in Montana and Idaho, we did a rate reduction towards the end of the year. And then we came out with stable competitive rates for this year. And then I'm happy to announce, and most of you know, is that fourth quarter of this year, so currently in fourth quarter, we had a rate reduction. So we were able to make a rate reduction. And then, as you can see by these numbers, we're positioned very well going into 2021 beyond where we're at in 2020. If you have not looked at our rates recently, I encourage you to do that. If you look at average rates, you know, say take an average 30-year-old for our fourth quarter rates and look at all products, rating areas, carriers, you'll see that we're top tier. So the amount of quotes that we have coming is just significant. And we continue to sell a business. This fourth quarter is shaping up very well for year to date. We've increased our small group business. We're probably approaching, you know, compared to a year ago, probably 80% more small group business than we've had. And so this is the success story for us. So with some of the benefit ads that we're going to show you shortly, I think you're going to see why we are becoming a carrier of choice and a consideration. So again, check the rates. If you haven't shopped your group recently, please check the rates upon renewal. Let's see what we can do for you. And we expect good things this quarter and moving into January. Just quickly, we'll touch on the Idaho individual rates. Some of you operate in more than one of our service areas. I know we have agents that operate in Wyoming, so that's an exciting thing. We have some that do in Idaho, so we always want to make sure we're providing some information from those state areas as well. So Idaho, if you don't know, has more competition. There's more main carriers that we contend with, and so there's other factors to consider. But so when we look at our 2020 going into 2021, some areas we had a slight price reduction. Others we adjusted it. But when we look at the overall picture compared to our other carriers that we compete with, we think we're going to overall be positioned also very well in Idaho. Again, it has some different dynamics than what we experience in Montana, but overall we're expecting good things. Cheryl, the small group. And then the other thing, and we'll have more information, we'll have the Idaho presentation on our broker homepage as well as the Montana presentation out there. So anybody that's missed it or would like to refer back to it. This slide just shows we have some product changes, new products coming out in Idaho, and it gives an average rate there. And the next year we'll be able to provide more information on, you know, how we performed and how we will do that rate change going into the new year. Next slide. So then in Idaho, small group, no exception, similar to Montana, a success story. And so we made reductions there as well for fourth quarter. And then we are also making an adjustment for 2021. And so you can see by this graph, we've had some significant reductions. This will also place us well in our service areas with our products, and we expect positive things. We're getting good quoting, And so if you have any clients in the Idaho market, please give us a look here. You just don't have to work in Montana. We have other areas that we'd love to do business with you on. And so, again, good things coming for Idaho as well. Okay. Open enrollment. We are going to do a lot of marketing in the open enrollment segment again, and we're excited to tell you about some of that. We have a super marketing team led by Blair in our company that really does some innovative things and really supports the sales team. And so we're just super fortunate to have her and her team. So you're going to see us out again heavily on social media, digital media, postcards. There's billboards in all of our states. We just recently went through a board election. So as mentioned, we are member owned, member governed. We have a member board. And so any of you that are co-op members or your clients would have received an option to vote. The vote actually ended, I think, yesterday. And so you might have heard information on that. But you'll also see radio ads. We'll focus on education of our products. Our pharmacy director, Mark Eichler, is going to tell you some innovative and exciting things here shortly. And we're going to highlight some of these additional benefits. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. So you're going to hear us vocal. And it's important. We need to let people know who we are and then ensure that they're getting in contact with you to do business and work together. Okay, so to highlight some of the things that we're doing or our focus areas, we really believe in the whole body health approach. And so we want to provide the medical coverage of choice for the members and the benefit they choose, but we feel it's also important to provide some additional elements to that. So that's why you'll hear more about dental and vision and what we have to offer. Travel benefit. This is something that's unique to the co-op. We'll talk about it more on a slide, but our members have access to our regional facility and a travel benefit, and we just continue to have good success with that. Preventative checkups. One thing that we try to really highlight when we're out with group enrollments and speaking to our clients is really preventative care. One thing we see is preventative care is really underutilized. And so we want to ensure that our members are aware that they have those preventative benefits, taking that proactive approach, doing the right things up front. And, the idea is to better quality of life, better health, lower premiums, and just a successful partnership. And so we try to really have preventative care stand out in our discussions. We'll continue to use our telehealth service, Doctor on Demand. We'll talk more about that too, something we rolled out this year, working very well, and more to come on that. And then just our pharmacy program, and Mark is going to share exciting stuff coming. So with that, I'm very fortunate to turn the conversation over to Mark Eichler, our pharmacy director, to tell more about what he has in store for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's not often that in an agent training we spend near as much time on pharmacy and certainly pharmacy benefit management or PBM services. But I hope after the next 3 or 4 slides you'll understand why we've chosen to do that, let alone have me as the pharmacy director be part of that. That kind of really does speak to our team-based approach here at the co-op, where we really put all the teams and all the departments, if you will, together to come up with a concerted effort and good strategies moving our company forward. We've been fortunate also to work with a good TPA, the University of Utah Health Plan. So with that TPA, we have collaborated, and I'm going to speak to about our pharmacy benefit management team, as well as the PBM offering that we offer now, and it's called RealRx. So you won't see any slides here with an Express Scripts title, an OptumRx title, CVS Health title, or even Prime Therapeutics for that matter. You're going to see RealRx, and that's what I'm going to try to explain to you in the next 3 or 4 slides. So many of you may already know what a PBM or pharmacy benefit manager does for an insurer like us, but here are some of the key components that they do. We have to have a pharmacy network. So in each of our states that we do business in, we have to have a local pharmacy network of independents and chains. but we also have to have a national network. So as our members and your clients travel all across the country, they need to be able to pick up a prescription wherever they're traveling. So we have a national network of 55 to 65,000 pharmacies all across the country, as well as our local in-state networks. You know, the PBM provides real-time adjudication for us, for any member. I mean, we're all accustomed to that now. So when you walk into a pharmacy, at least when the pharmacist actually fills the prescription and submits it to us, the PBM, RealRx, that claim is adjudicated within 15 to 30 seconds, where an eligibility and benefit validation check is done at that time. They also provide clinical programs for us. They help us manage our formularies. They do utilization management for us, and they also provide rebate manufacturer contracting services for us. So those are some of the things that they do. So why did the co-op change to a PBM of its own design? Well, it's a well-known fact that PBMs, and especially if for the agents that are have spent some time in the larger employer self-funded world, you know PBMs can control contracts and they can play revenue games based upon those contracts. I won't go into each one of these areas of contractual difficulties that a PBM can experience with you, but suffice to say each one of these is an issue, and if you don't know what that contract is or how to do that very well, some of that revenue is lost to you. Next slide, please. So we identified that PBM problem. We've certainly had our share of PBM issues with the several previous PBMs that we had, and as well as our TPA did as well, the University of Utah Health Plan. So we did identify a problem, and that the problem were some of our contractual issues, et cetera. So along with the TPA, we collaborated to create our own solution, and that solution we're calling RealRx. It was a kind of a two-step process in developing RealRx. It took us about a year to get this all done. A joint venture team was formed by our TPA, and then with our collaboration, the PBM was created. We get a board of directors seat on RealRx for the co-op. That is just really critically important because we're on the inside looking out rather than the outside looking in. And step two of that was to create a strategy of true transparency where nothing was hidden from us in our contracts. We're part of the build and design, so again, that's just critically important, and that board of directors seat gives us that ability to look into everything. So we had some goals for RealRx, you know, a PBM of our own design. First of all, we had some financial objectives. We did want to eliminate the PBM games that we encountered in the past. We needed to align some fiduciary responsibilities of our own, and then we really did want to implement a true, transparent, and pass-through pharmacy offering for us as well as our members and clients. Some of you already know about the regulatory environment with PBMs. They're being highly scrutinized for being non-transparent. We don't want to be non-transparent. We want to be very transparent and comply with all of the Department of Insurance regulations on PBMs and be a good steward of all that. We had some operational goals. We needed to improve our PBM services from our previous contracts. We need to control our benefit configuration and maintenance of those much better. We are taking control of that now. We needed to provide flexible system capabilities in order to do that. We also needed some clinical benefits as well, so focusing on lowest net cost value for medications, but we also needed insight into those contracts and rebate situations, and then just had to have much better engagement with our clinical programs. Next slide, please. So part of the enhanced collaboration that we're seeing with RealRx already is the expert guidance. We're providing guidance to our TPA as well as they are providing guidance to us. We get so much better engagement. Sometimes you lose that engagement opportunity when you're contracted with a large national PBM. Best value, we're balancing our fiduciary needs with plan benefit goals and having some low-cost strategies in our pharmacy program. And then we get much more precise administration of our pharmacy benefit management program. We can actually now provide solutions specific to our needs and goals rather than, some national carriers. So we get everything we want out of this solution called RealRx and nothing we actually don't. So what are the benefits of the new PBM to us as the co-op, and that certainly translates directly to our members and your clients. We feel we're going to provide some immediate member savings on prescription drug costs to those members. We're going to get much greater depth of local member support, working directly with our TPA and our staff here at the co-op. Much better integration of services. We get to work hand in hand much closer because we have that relationship. And then the co-op is here. It doesn't matter if it's pharmacy, sales, whatever department, if you will. As I said, we take a team-based approach here, so we're here to support you as agents and clients with pharmacy-specific needs, your questions, and certainly reporting as it may arise. So as Richard mentioned way in the beginning, we've made some significant decisions over the last 12 to 18 months about where the co-op is and where the co-op's going to take our services, and Jeff described those too, our services to our members. And one of those projects or decisions that we've made is to create a value-based insurance design for the co-op. And the graphic on the right here shows exactly what value-based insurance design is. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that slide, not really any at all, matter of fact, but just it's there for you to read so you can understand. But out of that value-based insurance design strategy over the last year, we've been able to pull out some key features of that design. And one of those is what we are calling for 2021 is the value-based preventive drug list. You're all familiar with the ACA list of medications that are provided at no cost share to members, as well as you that have large groups that have a preventive maintenance list for those high deductible health plan options in an HSA. This eclipses both of those, and it's a much larger and broader list than those. So for 2021, this particular value-based preventive drug list will provide no cost share drugs before deductible. It's for all of our plans in all 3 states. And when I say all of our plans, it's for individual family plans, small group plans, large group plans, large group traditional as well as HDHP options. It'll start on January 1st, no matter when your group renews. So we've decided to just kick it off January 1st. And so you don't need to worry about, any lags in benefits there. We've added significantly more drugs at no cost share because we believe in the value-based insurance design philosophies. So you'll see medications for cardiovascular disease, for hypertension, cholesterol lowering, congestive heart failure, a number of cardiovascular indications. We'll have drugs to treat those at no cost share. For diabetes, including insulin, if we have a diabetic that's type 1 diabetic on insulin, we'll have representative samples and insulins in both rapid-acting, intermediate-acting, and long-acting insulins at no cost share to member. That's kind of putting our money where our mouth is because you all know how much insulins cost. So we'll be able to provide that benefit to our members using this model. Asthma, COPD drugs. Many of the treatments for these conditions are brand name inhalers. They're expensive. We've also decided to say to our members, you know what, this is a chronic condition. If you're not managed well, you're not going to be good, and therefore we're not going to be good. So we've made those drugs at no cost share, as well as drugs for depression and osteoporosis. So we feel that by adding services like this particular one, we hope to be a differentiator in our marketplace. And much like Jeff's going to talk about some more services, vision and dental, these are the little things that hoping to add up to big things for us in 2021.
Okay, well, thanks, Mark, for your time. And I would just like to add that we are very fortunate to have someone like Mark part of our company. Mark's been an excellent resource for our agents as well as our members. Mark, when there's an issue with pharmacy or somebody's having difficulty with the drug or getting something processed, Mark's very good at contacting the pharmacy team, getting things resolved. For our large group business, 51 employee lives and above, Mark has provided and created an additional quarterly pharmacy claims report. So our large group business, all of them get a quarterly claims experience report, but above and beyond that, Mark created this additional pharmacy reporting, and it's proven valuable. We've worked with groups to identify maybe opportunities, whether it's mail order or items, other trends that we're seeing. And again, if you have group clients or you as an agent, if we need to work on some things, Mark's very good about either getting in the car with me or getting on the phone, having a conference call, and resolving issues that pop up. So thank you, Mark. Well, as we've talked about, we've had some big things, and let's not forget, entering the great state of Wyoming. And so this is an exciting initiative for us, and I do believe we do have Rich Westenberg on the phone that will just touch on these points. Rich, are you available?
Yes, Jeff, can you hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear, my friend.
Sounds great. Well, so excited to have Mountain Health Co-op here in Wyoming, as the first bullet says, and we are looking to we're already kicking things off and had a chamber event today. So we have our established office here in Cheyenne, which, the main purpose, there's one dominant carrier here in Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming, and to bring competition, which really will drive quality that's very needed here in Wyoming. Our plans are called the High Plains Plans. We're going to start out offering small group and individual statewide. We look to enter the Medicare supplement in the first quarter and large group tentatively down the roads sometime mid-year. And we're going to begin quoting this fall for January 1, 2021 effective dates. We're going to have, on my screen, the bullet's not going all the way down, but I see the First Choice Health Networks. And so those are our networks that we're going to have. And then the eligible travel benefit, which I'm sure you're very aware of. We will also have that here in Wyoming. So very excited having Mountain Health Co-op in Wyoming. Thank you, Jeff.
Got. So if you have those opportunities in the Wyoming market, certainly Rich will be there to service, and we're just expecting positive things. And so more to communicate on our successes there. Okay, so we also want to touch about the great work that the pharmacy or the provider team within Montana is doing. I will tell you, I've been impressed with the work that they've done. So Leah Martin, our Director of Provider Relations in Montana, along with Rhonda McMillan, who assists in various efforts. So Leah and her staff are doing good work, and when we ask them to get a provider in the market or to look at something, they're either doing it already or they're quick to jump on it. So this slide here shows you a number of wins this year that the provider team have been able to accomplish, and they're working on more. They have a lot of things that they're working on and getting more providers involved. And as we become a bigger player in the market, it's really important that these providers, we have a good solid network, which we do. The Connected Care Network is our main network in the state, has all facilities in the state with the exception of Great Falls Clinic. So we have benefits to serve the clients in Great Falls, but that's the only facility at this time that is not in our Connected Care Network. So all other facilities, including both in Missoula, both in Billings, and then we just have a good array of specialty and different provider types. And again, this shows you a lot of the work that's being done. So stay tuned for more, just some positive things going on the provider side. All right, well, as I talked about the marketing team and what Blair and staff do, it's really exciting to see some of their marketing pieces that come out. So if you have, if you've ordered some booklets from us and done anything in the Medicare space or seen one of our bulletin boards or on our website, you'll see that this is our tagline for our Medicare supplement product. So this person's having a lot of fun, and we're cheering and shouting, and so it's exciting stuff. So with that, let's talk more about Medicare Supplement. So many of you are aware or are selling for us in the Medicare Supplement space. So this was quite the initiative. When I came on consulting for the co-op, one of the main things I was doing is how can we get Medicare Supplement off the ground and what it takes. And I'll tell you, it took a lot more, and it was certainly a great learning experience for me from creating a product from the ground up. You have to make sure you have all the filings and the vendor partners and how you're going to go about it. So it was quite the initiative. And then you add something like COVID that delayed us a few months. And so, but with that, we were able to get out in the market June 1st, both in Montana and Idaho, and it continues to be more and more successful. We're selling plan products A, F, G, and N. And I will tell you, I like to talk about competitive rates, a small group. I'm going to do the same thing for Medicare Supplement. We are competitive. We spend a lot of time with our actuarial firm reviewing where the competition is, where we need to enter the market. And one thing I guess I'm proud on and the leadership is good at supporting is ensuring that we are as competitive as we can be, but then making sure that we don't bounce rates significantly up and down each year, because it does no one any good. So same philosophy holds true for Medicare Supplement. Come out with a competitive rate, do what we can to hold those rates. There's never a guarantee that a carrier won't have a rate increase, but we want to do everything we can to minimize that. And so we really hope and expect agents that will, with our competitive rates and what we represent as a company, to do business with us. And so check the rates out. We are in many age segments in both states, and we'll be positioned well in Wyoming at top tier rating. And so look at those for your clients. And a very important thing, an element of bringing out this product is the feedback we receive from current membership. We have a number of members that age out of our individual or group products every year, and they wanted a landing spot, and they wanted to stay with the co-op, many of them. And so this provides an option to keep them with the co-op. It provides you as an agent an option to keep them with the co-op and continue to do business with us. When you look at the commissions that we provide, so all of you on the phone and the hundreds of agents we have across the state, everyone in our service areas had to recontract recently. So I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for filling out the additional paperwork. I mean, you have a lot going on, and we're not the only carrier that you work with. But certainly we appreciate it. We had some changes in our contracting, and that includes commissions. And we added Medicare Supplement commission to your commission exhibits. So if you have questions on the commission to be paid on Medicare Supplement, refer to your commission exhibit in the agency agreement. But above and beyond that, we've communicated this, but I want to make sure all agents know we have a bonus program. So in addition to the commission that we're going to pay you, we have a bonus program for underwritten and open enrollment business. So for underwritten policies that are sent in and approved, we'll pay $150. And then for open enrollment applications that are submitted and approved, we'll pay $25. Again, above and beyond your commission that we're paying. And so take advantage of that, doing the right thing for the client and the right thing for yourself. We have a couple different ways to submit a Medicare Supplement commission. So our preferred method is e-application. So there'll be a review at the end of the presentation for anyone that wants to stay on to do a quick walkthrough of our broker homepage. And so that will be an opportunity. And part of that is showing you where all our Medicare Supplement materials are, the link to the e-application, as well as the hard copy application that's also there available for print. We'll also show where you to order Medicare Supplement materials if you need them, or any other group material. So we have a button there that you can directly order, and we'll get materials out to you. So very exciting with Medicare Supplement. We continue to get more inquiries and more members wanting to do it. And so every week we're getting policies issued. So continue to do that and stay tuned for more with our Medicare Supplement. Lastly, what I would say is we'll continue to analyze any additional benefit add-ons for our Medicare Supplement product. Some carriers have gym membership, some additional add-on benefits. It's not a matter of us not wanting to continue to look at that. I don't know what we will or will not do. but it was important to get out into the market, and so that's what we did as quickly as we could. So mentioned before, our telehealth service, Doctor on Demand, it's been a solid program for us and vendor partner. When we decided to go out into the market with a telehealth service for 2020, a lot of work went into finding out which service is consistent, had a good track record, and Doctor Demand was on the short list for that. So they will continue to be our Doctor on Demand service. For members that are on traditional plans, they typically will have a low copay for that service for the urgent care and behavioral health. And then if a member that's on a high deductible plan, they typically will follow the reduced fee schedule. So it's still a reduced fee schedule. Great service. Currently with COVID, and other carriers have stepped up and to do the right thing, and we have as well. So currently for urgent care services for our members, it's a zero copay. So this keeps your members safe and healthy during this unforeseen time that we're all experiencing. If there's any changes of this, we'll make you aware, but this is a good benefit. Zero copay services through Doctor on Demand. This is also good if you're traveling. If you're traveling with our group business, we have the First Health Network out of state that group members can access in addition to the small amount of contracted providers we have, and then University of Utah Health System we have available. For individual members, primarily our network out of state would be for urgent and emergent services. So we do have some, but the contracting out of state for individual business is limited, so primarily for urgent and emergent. They still have access to University of Utah Health System, but this is a great opportunity for individual members. They can use Doctor on Demand. Right now it's zero copay. They get the services they need wherever they at. We are looking, continuing to discuss, is there an opportunity for some limited type of network arrangement for our individual? Particularly as an example would be a family plan and one of the kids is off at college. And so that is definitely a need where it's not urgent and emergent, where they maybe need ongoing care. So we'll continue to look at that. But Doctor on Demand fills a number of needs, and it'll be in place for this next year. Travel benefit. As I mentioned before, something unique to the co-op and something we're very proud of, and it's related to our partnership with University of Utah Health Plans. So we are not looking to take care out of your local communities and service areas, but let's face it, sometimes it makes sense based on the healthcare needs and what's going on with the particular member. So with pre-authorization, we have a travel benefit, and so the member calls customer service, is looking for the care or getting care pre-auth, they can inquire on the travel benefit. So if they're pre-approved, we could pay for things like flight, hotel, food, transportation. It's available for all members. This program is used weekly by members. We continue to hear positive stories of members using this. And the great thing about it is there's not a lot of red tape. Once you're approved, you'll have a travel coordinator that will ensure that you get your payments and that you're not out of pocket, and just the member has enough to focus on. We want to take some of the cost and expense with getting to that place of care out of the equation. And so travel benefit is something to promote and something that's unique to us. Adult vision exams. As you know, we rolled this out for 2020, and it's been very popular, and we'll continue to do it. Vision exams are a great way to proactively identify any health issues or a way to do that. So not only being able to see better, make sure your vision is in good shape, but also is there any conditions that you might need checked out further? That's back to that whole body health approach that we like to take. So with this program, let's review again some elements with it. This is up to $60 for a vision exam. We will pay the member, every member on a plan. And so we will not coordinate the care. We don't coordinate with another vision plan if the member has it. So the member can use their standalone vision benefit if they have it and use this. So this $60 might help pay for a copay that the member has for their current vision benefit. If they don't have a vision benefit, well, now they have something. They have something with us. And so they get up to $60 for a vision exam. It's really simple. They get a receipt from when they have that service, and they submit it one of about 3 different ways. All this information is on our webpage under the member section of how to submit. And when the member submits within a few short days, they will get a check for up to $60. And so we really want to highlight, encourage this. The other thing I like to look at is when you're comparing one of our plans to another carrier, consider this part of the equation. When you look at this benefit and the next one I'm going to review, maybe we're a few dollars difference on an individual plan as an example. Consider the vision benefit and what we're going to talk next, and it might be a better value to go with us. So consider this into the, to what you're reviewing with your clients. Okay, now speaking of dental, this guy really needs some dental work and he could use a cleaning. So we'll probably give him the benefit as well this year. But we also are coming out with this dental benefit similar to the vision benefit this year. So in terms of submission to get payment for the dental benefit, it'll be the same process as vision. We'll have information out on our webpage for members to look at, for you to refer to for your clients. So if you want to scroll down a little bit. And so here's how it's going to work. We are going to pay up to $100 towards cleaning, exam, and fluoride. Nothing towards x-rays, but those other 3 items. For all plans, all members, 2021 start date, regardless when you renew. And so we won't coordinate with a separate dental plan. So again, you can take advantage of this and your separate dental plan, or if you don't have anything, now you have dental and vision, a benefit there to help. So particularly a small group, maybe they can't offer the additional benefits. Well, we have something for them. So again, look at this when you're looking at the value of what you have offered. So we're really excited about this approach we're going into this year. Okay, so let's look at some miscellaneous reminders, a few things before we get into some question and answer and then the practical walkthrough. Individual and small group plan rates, I believe, are available on our quoting portal now for 2021. The fourth quarter rates were already there for small group. Of course, you could quote individual, and we did get confirmation today that out on our broker home portal, you can look at those individual small group rates and start your quoting. We will very soon have out our plan documents on our webpage. So look for an agent blast just to reconfirm that to where we'll have all the outlines of coverage, all the information for you to refer to those. Renewals. Small group renewals, we do not auto-renew. We realize some carriers do that, but we don't at this time. We continue to talk about it. What you'll get from us is at least 60 days in advance, typically more. Both the client as well as you as the appointed agent will get an email notifying you that your renewal period has begun and that the agent can initiate the renewal on the system. So we just encourage you when you get those to start the process, get help from staff members internally. We'll talk about a great way to do that in a moment. And so just keep that in mind. We don't auto-renew at this time. Agent commissions. Oh, wrong way. Well, so we'll back the presentation up a little bit. So agent commissions, I want to touch base on, let's go back to that other slide. Okay, so agent commissions, we want to make sure that we're paying you properly and making sure getting our members in our groups to pay their premiums. One thing that I want to remind everyone on is if the group or the individual is not current on their premiums, we're not going to pay the commission for that associated period. So if you look at your commission agreement or your commission statement that we've paid and maybe it doesn't look right, you want to make sure that your membership is current on their premiums. For group, we will run a delinquent report monthly to look to see who's in grace period. So we give a 30-day grace period, and then after that period, you could fall under that delinquent category. And so we try to work with the group and you as the agent to get the resolved. But certainly, we want to make sure that you're helping us do anything you can to keep your members and your clients paid premium current. So not only do they keep the coverage in effect, but also we're paying you the commissions that you're due. Explanation of benefits. Members will default to electronic explanation of benefits if they do not request otherwise. So members would go out on our webpage, they'll go to My Charts, they can set up an account, they can look at their electronic submissions and their claims and all their information. If they're wanting a paper explanation of benefit, they will need to call customer service, so the number on their card, but it's 1-855-447-2900, but it's on our website, it's on their ID card. They will call there, they will request a paper explanation of benefit, and they can start getting paper. We can, on exception basis, if we have a group that's set up, we've done this before with large group, to request a group in its entirety to be set up with paper applications, but just know it will default to electronic. Then general agent questions and assistance. While all of us on the sales team, many of you have our phone numbers, know how to get a hold of us, we do have a standard and efficient process that works pretty well for your day-to-day agent questions. And so we're really highlighting that because we want to ensure you're getting your responses timely. That's something we pride ourselves with. So if you don't know, or as a reminder, we have an agent email address that you can send your general questions to. So maybe you have a general question on a renewal, a group member, maybe you have a question, you want to send in a copy of your errors and admission coverage or an update to your licensure, you can send it in there. We have a few people that monitor that, and that way if somebody's gone, we make sure there's good coverage. I get in there once in a while to peek as well, but we have folks that are working with that. You also can get a hold of us with calling our customer service number. It's on the screen, and you choose option 3 for agents. That will ring into a staff member. They can assist you with your help. Again, we work very hard to get back to people timely. This is a busy time period of the year for you and for us, and so we'll continue to do the best we can. But these are two methods that very well might get you a quicker response if you're looking for some assistance. Okay, next slide. So let's talk small group. I'm a broken record on small group because I'm just excited at the good things that are occurring, and so let's talk a little further on it. So we, up to this point, or very recently, didn't have a standard for small group plans of how many plans a small group do have. So we gathered some feedback of what some other carriers are doing, feedback from some of you as agents, and we came up with a guideline. So going forward for small groups can have up to 3 plans, but no more than the number of employees on the plan. So if you're a group of 10 employee lives, you get 3 plans. If you're a group of 5 employee lives, you get 3 plans. If you're a group of 2, you get 2 plans. You can't have any more than the number of employees on the plan. One thing I'd like to emphasize is we'll offer these plans. However, we really want the plans to be utilized. So if an employer offers the 3 plans, let's make sure they're all 3 being used, or maybe 2 would be the best choice for them. So that's the big thing. We need to ensure there's utilization on the plans if offered. We offer composite rates as well as age rates as of this year, and so we rolled out composite rates a few months ago. It's been very popular. It works very well, as you know, with the larger small groups, but we will offer composite rates to any size small group. They are available, or age rates. When you go through the quoting, you'll get the option to make that choice, whether it's member level rated or the composite rating. All enrollment and processing can be done online in the broker portal. So again, we will, in a minute, Cheryl will go out and show you some highlights to the home page of where items are at, and also just show you where you log into the broker portal, maybe show you a few things. But the great thing, what we want to do is ensure that we're easy to do business with. We don't want to require a bunch of paperwork from you, and so we'd like you to be self-sufficient, to be able to complete your enrollment and processing of your groups and your individuals, and we want to be there to support. But if you can quote, enroll, and process your group and take care of everything, we're not going to ask for any paperwork. There is in the application process, there is a tab that asks for a wage document, so say a UI-5. While we'd like you to put something there, and that's where you would locate that, we're not going to hold it up with the sale. So we're not out auditing continually. We don't have the time to do that. We have our standards and our guidelines, but it's a trust relationship here. So if you have the documents available, please put them on there for the wage document. But again, it's not going to hold up the sale for you to complete your processing. If at any time you ask us to assist with enrolling a group, so let's say you're selling 10 groups for us in January and you needed help with one, we at that time will ask you for employee applications, employer application. Because if we're doing it, we need something on file and be able to have for records that we're indeed following the instructions of the group and the employee. But again, if you do it, we will not ask for any of that paperwork. Rates. Rates are a big thing. Again, we're competitive. We're top tier. We're happy about that. The amount of quotes that are coming in and that we know will come in for January is significant. So don't wait. Get out and quote. If you need assistance, let us know. And once you get out there and quote, you'll figure out the process with the system, and it becomes easier and easier. There's one other item I want to bring up before we move to the last slide before questions, is this. As we know, every carrier has guidelines in terms of what they allow for their quoting, their eligibility, and there's a couple things that come up fairly often is, one, what do we consider an eligible group for small group? We consider 2 or more eligible lives, 2 or more paid eligible lives, paid employees to consist for a group that can be quoted. So we don't consider sole proprietorship a group of one, the ability to have a quote. It's 2 or more eligible paid employee lives, then you can quote. Now, sometimes you start with 2, that's the main criteria, and then maybe one of them waive for other coverage, and then it ends up being a group of 1. That's allowed, but it has to start with 2. The other item that comes up often is what does the makeup of the group have to be? What if they are related? So let's say you have a group of 2 eligible paid employees, and one's a dad and one's a son. Would we allow that to be quoted and sold? The answer is yes. We look at the guidelines for small group as really meaning eligibility, but we don't concern ourselves with relationship. So if it's a husband and wife, they're both paid employees. If they're 2 separate paid employees, we would allow that as a group. So again, we don't concern ourselves with relationship. It's based on eligibility. So get out and sell the small group. Things are going very well and some great successes. Last slide before questions. We'll look at any chat questions and then we'll open it up. But before we do that, just some resource reminders. The broker portal, that's where you can do your individual small group quoting. Look at your billing for your groups, look at your commissions, and that's available 24/7 and on our website. We also have a LinkedIn group. Our marketing staff created a LinkedIn group, and so some agents actually are following it or dialed into that Mountain Health LinkedIn group, and so that's a fun way to do it. So if you have time to get additional information, be part of that, we encourage you to do that. You'll also hear us on podcasts. We've done some podcasts on various topics. We did one on Medicare Supplement, open enrollment, really our covered initiative. And so, stay tuned for that, or you might see that out in your social media. Our sales team's here to help. Again, we have the basic ways to get a hold of us, but we are here to help and make you successful, because if you're successful, we are as well. And then lastly, that email address again to contact us. agentinfo@mhc.coop for your day-to-day questions, and we'll make sure we get you a response. So now that we're done with that portion, we're going to get to a question and answer period. So let's see if there's any chat questions. I have our staff member Lori shaking her head no. So we don't have any chat questions in the queue right now. If any come up, Lori can let us know. So we'd like to open it up to any general verbal questions you'd like to ask. So you can unmute yourself and then ask the question. We'll allow a few minutes for that before we start our practical overview. Hearing silence, that's either a good thing. Either the information's been good, or you're ready to get on to other things. But we'll leave the chat open just a little longer, and then we'll leave that open. And then if you have anything, of course, if you have any other questions that come up after this presentation, certainly we will be available to answer those questions. I would also tell you that we are going to have the presentation both for Montana and Idaho, and then when we conduct the Wyoming sessions, we'll have them on our broker homepage for any other team members that were unable to join us for these sessions. We know you're all busy this time of the year, or if you would like to refer as a refresher or look back at the slides. So that will be available. So we are getting set up for anybody that would like to we'll just take a few minutes and have a quick walkthrough of the broker homepage and the portal. So stay tuned just one moment. Okay, well, we're going to go through just some basics of where information is on our broker homepage, and for anyone that's still on the phone, and see if this will be helpful.
Hello, everyone. This is Cheryl. And right now we are at the broker homepage. I'm going to take you through some of these tabs and some of the items that you have accessible to you. So one of the things we'll do is we will look at the tab called View Plan Documents. You'll see that the different states and the different types of plans are here. So let's say, for example, you wanted to look at Montana individual plans.
They've got those out there now. Good.
And it doesn't want to open. Maybe it's because the folks downstairs are still working on this yet today. I know they're all in it right now, but this is where you're going to be able to go, pick whether it's individual or group, what type of plan and what state that you're looking for. If you are trying to find a provider,
We've got okay.
The next tab I'm going to go to is where you can look for your different doctors. You can either choose your state, and again, Wyoming will be up here very soon. And then you can search for doctors, hospitals. You can search by zip code, zone, or by location. So there's various ways that you can look for those different doctors and providers for yourself. Also, you can then, the one that most of you would be going to is to the broker tab. If we click on that broker tab, and I'm waiting for it to take up, my machine is just a little bit delayed here.
I think you have to pick portal.
I usually don't have to. And it's just giving you a few seconds to look at that scenery we have there.
Scroll down. I think you're in.
I'm
Not responding to a long-running script.
Here we go. It's finally there. I'm sorry for the delay. So as we scroll down, the first thing you're going to see that there is the link to where you can order supplies. So if you click on that link, it's going to bring up an email. It will come right into our agent info box, and you can say what type of materials you're interested in, whether it's materials on Medicare supplement plans or individual or even group. The other things that you can do, if we continue to scroll down, you'll see at this time we have both Idaho and Montana in the system right now, and these are where all of your various forms are going to be. So if we look at the Montana side, you'll see that the first section is for individual and family applications. So you can click on Connect Care applications, or if you're in Idaho, click on the various either link, access, or engage, and it will bring up those applications for you for your individuals. If it's a new individual plan that you're writing, or if you're adding a member to that family, then the next thing we're going to look at is your group access. Now, if we look at these, this first thing that we're seeing is the census form. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. This is the census that you can use for your group quoting. You would enter the various information in here, such as, and we'll wait for it to come up, whether the role would be full-time or part-time, what effective date, their name, their gender, their date of birth. So some of that different information. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm hearing that this spreadsheet is not showing up for you folks, so I do apologize for that. But that is where you'll find that census so that you can use it, and it makes it easier for loading it into a quote. We also have here the group application for that employer to complete for quoting, and the application for the employees. So you can download these forms and send them to your group that you're looking to quote. And then there's other forms here for agents to use, such as the broker user guide, an agent of record form, authorization for those that want to set up automatic payments from their checking or savings account, and then direct applications. For those are applications that are for folks that are not going to be on the marketplace. The bottom section is for Medicare supplement information. We have provided for you both annual and monthly rates, so sometimes when you're out in the field, you want to print this off and take it with you. Then the agent guide, that guide is a very useful tool. It's going to give you information as to when someone might be in open enrollment or a guarantee issue so that you'll know what is selection to choose when you're actually doing the application. There is an outline of coverage that shows the various plans available and what each plan covers and what Original Medicare covers. Some of the other forms that are available that you might need to use during the time would be your health information forms, reinstatement application forms, and then you would also want to make sure that you have that regarding replacement. If you are taking a member from one company Medicare supplement plan and you want to write them with one of our plans, you would need to have this replacement form attached to that application when it's submitted. The next one is your actual application. It's a paper application that you can download and use if you choose. If you're going to use that method, please remember to attach the next form, which is your pre-authorization agreement for EFT. That form does need to be attached to any paper application. Then the next one is your e-application. This, if you click on this link, it's going to take you to the e-quoting tool portal where you can log in, you can do quotes, you can take that quote and submit it and complete the application and actually submit it for going to approval. The last item there is the little video that was created that you can review and go through, which will show you how to use that e-quoting portal for your convenience. Then as we go down towards the bottom of this, we're going to see the various ways that you can submit a new application. You can either use, and I'm going to highlight it down here, the new business at uflic.com. That's if you need to submit a paper application, or you can fax that application in. But again, the preferred method is the e-portal way because it is quick, easy, and it goes right into underwriting so that it can have a faster approval rate. I think the next thing we'll do is we're going to take you into what we would call a broker portal. When you want to go in to do a quote, we're just going to have you log in. So I'll go ahead and get logged in now.
That's UAT, we're for sure. Okay.
And you'll first come to, and you're going to see your dashboard. Your links up at the top if you want to create a new quote. The next one, it says people. That is for individual or even for group. So if you have someone that you want to look up, regardless whether they're an individual member or whether they're a group member, you can just click on that link, enter their name, and then click search, and it will bring up those so that you can see, are they effective? Is their premium been paid? Do we need to get a payment in? What members they may have on their plan. The groups tab is where you can look for any of your groups, but you've got some various options here. You can either search for any active applications, so that could be a proposal that you have put into the application mode. Maybe you need to go back to it to complete that. You can look for your active groups, or you can look for your actual proposals. And maybe you're an agent that already has some groups on the books with us, so you can look at what accounts are due to be coming up for renewal. And the needs attention, if you're in the middle of an application and that application's been sitting out there for that group, then maybe there's just an uncompleted item. You can go into needs attention and we can figure out what is needed to be able to complete that application for you. If you go down to the Advanced tab, there's some various ways to search for different information that you're looking for. At this point, you could even search by effective date or by your company name. One of the things I want to show you is under Tools, and if you look at Rate Sheet, this is a pretty nifty little tool that you can use. Maybe you have a group and they're wanting to add a new employee and you want to find out what the premium is. You're going to put the year that that group was first effective in. So if it was a July policy, you would put in 2020. We could then look up group. You would want to then also select your state. And then we can even go in and put in zip code, tell it whether you want to look at a various range. The range that will come up will be between age 14 and 16. And I'm going to try and get a zip code in here to show you what it looks like.
Looks like something's wrong. I don't know what all those asterisks are.
There we go. I'm going to put that this group was effective July 01 of 2020. And let's see if I can go back and get a zip code in there. And it may not let me today. And again, this could be because the system is being worked on or maybe some updates are being created at this time. And we are in a testing site while I'm showing you this information. But what would happen is then you would go ahead and put in a zip code and hit Show Rates. It's going to bring up a series of rates for all of the different plans available, and to the left will be the ages. So you would find the age of that employee, find the plan that's available for that group, and then it will show you those rates. So let's say you're out in the field and you're going to go visit with that group. You may want to create this tool for yourself and print it off and take it with you. One of the things, let's go back and take a look at new quote. So if we click on the link for quoting, you can see that you can do individual and family plans, or you can actually do a group quote. So here you would just say, okay, you're quoting for the first time for this particular group. You're going to, well, for you, when you're logging into your own broker portal, your agent information should come up. In my testing site, I would put the various information in. Also, you're going to put your group's name, their zip code, the state, and other various information such as what is the start date that you would want it to be, and how should the employee or how should this group be rated, whether it be composite rate, member level, or even underwritten for larger groups. And then you would just click Next and go through the process. You're going to then also be able to have the opportunity to use that spreadsheet that you could have downloaded and enter that spreadsheet into the system, and it would make quoting easier for you. And again, my system's not wanting to go any further.
You got to select over below the zip code.
Yeah, but then it comes back. Sometimes you need to re-enter that field that it didn't save. Let's just go ahead and pick an agent, see if it will let us. And we'll just pick, well, I'll pick my own last name because I used to have some information in there.
Oops. Click on search.
And it didn't take. But, and I do apologize that this system is just not quite cooperating with me today. But this is where we would like to tell you that all of us on this sales team, every single one of us, would be more than happy to walk you through these processes. And sometimes it's easier doing one-on-one, whether we talk to you over the phone, and we can use your specific information and help you walk through to make sure that you're getting all the information in, helping you to be able to select your plans and get that in from quoting stage to application stage, and then on through to completions where we can help you get that group enrolled. I think at this time I will go ahead and just see if anybody has questions.
Okay, well, thank you for your time today. Like we said, it is the testing site, so it looked like it was being a little sensitive, but at least you have the basics of our broker homepage to where the documents are. There's a button for ordering sales literature and where you can get into the broker portal and start your quoting. You have resources to reach us via email, phone number, contacts for various, all of us on the sales team. We just thank you for your business and partnership, and we look forward to doing more with you this fall. We are open for business. I know you are too, and let's create some success together. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day.